Hello, welcome to the kitchen. Today we're going to be making a chicken stir fry teriyaki over rice. And I'm going to go through all the ingredients you need and all the utensils you need. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wash our hands. I don't know if you can see me over here. There I am. Okay, excellent. And I'm gonna be my own cameraman while I do this. So I'll try and keep the everything in the shot. So let's get the utensils we're gonna need first, okay? You're gonna need a few things. Let me move the camera down so you can see what we have here. Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna need a large frying pan. I have a pretty good sized one here. With a lid, all right? So a frying pan with a lid is the first thing you're gonna need. We're gonna be mixing our stir fry around, so we're gonna need a wooden spoon also to go with that. We need to open a few things, and I always find it easier to have a pair of scissors to open those things that I need as I go along. And we need a 1 tablespoon measure, 1 tablespoon, so we'll need that today for something. And then finally, we're gonna need a couple pot holders because we're holding warm handles and such like this. So a couple of pot holders. I like the mitten kinds, but I don't have them, so this will do the trick for me. If you need to pause this right now to get these things that you need, I'll give you a second to do that. And then when you're ready to go, just hit play and we're good to go. So large frying pan, wooden spoon, scissors, tablespoon, and pot holders. All right, if you have those things, we're gonna put those aside for a moment, and I'll get the ingredients you're gonna need. Okay, here's the ingredients. The main ingredients we're gonna need is, this is a frozen stir fry thing we're gonna use. This is gonna be the kind of the foundation of our meal here. I also have Purdue pre-cooked chicken. This chicken is already cooked. We're gonna heat it up in our stir fry today, but it is technically already cooked. So we're gonna heat that up and it's gonna go with our vegetables. And those are the two items we're gonna be cooking together. And then finally, after we cook those, we are gonna make some rice. This is a microwavable rice. It's done in 90 seconds. Love it. It's very fast and easy. So we're gonna do this at the end of our meal. Heat this up, and then the rice is gonna go with the rest of it. Okay, so let's get started with our recipe today, okay? The first thing you're gonna do, put these out of the way for a second. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my frying pan, all right? And I need to get my tablespoon measure. And all I'm gonna do is put 2 tablespoons of water into my frying pan. So let me turn you so you can see my sink here, kind of. See my sink? Good. All right. And I'm just gonna put this near my sink. I'm gonna fill up my tablespoon with water. Not a whole lot. Okay. Fill that up twice. 2 tablespoons of water in my frying pan. Okay, and it's just a little puddle of water in there. And then I'm all set. So 2 tablespoons of water, and then that's what we need to get started with that. Okay, good. All right. Now, what we're gonna do is, the next thing we're gonna need is our scissors. Okay, our scissors, because we're gonna open up our stir fry vegetables. Okay, to open up our stir fry vegetables with a pair of scissors, and just have a good countertop that's resting on so you're not cutting in midair. Cut that bag open, and then we're gonna pour all these vegetables into the frying pan with the water. And if we're paying attention, then we'll see there's a pouch in that pouch is kind of a flavor pouch that goes with these vegetables here. And we're gonna actually cut this open. This is gonna go in the frying pan also. So I'll take my scissors. And I'm just gonna cut through this little pouch through the side of it here. Okay. And I have a little opening. And I'm just gonna then just kind of pour that, kind of squish it into the vegetables here. Everything's frozen and cold. That's okay. Get all that teriyaki flavoring in there. All right. And now I can get rid of all my wrappers. This is all rubbish. I can throw this right out. And I am gonna hang on to my bag just in case I need to check it later. I think I know my cooking instructions, but let's keep the instructions in case I need to double check something. All right. Now let's see. The next step is I'm gonna add, did my water, did my veggies. Now I'm gonna add my chicken to the frying pan also. I'm gonna put the whole chicken in, all right? All the chicken that's in here. This is enough for just about 2.5 servings, so 2 people, enough. This is a meal kind of size for 2 people. I'm gonna cut this open, all right? All right. I'm just gonna pour my chicken into the frying pan, all right? And now, what I am gonna do here is these chicken comes in chunks. Now I'm just gonna use my hands. I'm gonna rip them kind of into cubes so the chunks aren't as big to work with and they kind of mix into it a little better. And it's easy to do this when it's nice and cold. So I'm just gonna rip the larger pieces of chicken into chunks. Just like that, just they're that big. Just gonna get them down, maybe, I don't know, maybe like that, not a very big piece, but the size of my fingertips kind of thing. All right, I'm just gonna keep going through, finding these chunks of chicken. And you can do it right over your frying pan. You don't have to reach up into the camera like I'm doing here. I'm just gonna break those up so they cook nice and easy and into all the vegetables. But really, when you're serving it, it's much easier that the chicken's in smaller bite sizes than these big kind of sizes you need to cut. All right. It's a good thing we washed our hands because we're touching the food. We're nice and clean hands, that's fine. All right, so mine's pretty good. I got my chicken in there, all chunked up, torn apart, and my vegetables, my sauce, and that little bit of water we added. So that's about ready to go, okay? What I'm gonna do, if you need a little more time to work on it, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick because they got a little messy there, so. So now I'm ready to move to the stovetop. My chicken and vegetables are ready to go, and so I can start cooking now. If you're not ready to move to the stovetop, you can pause this and then hit play when you are ready to move to the stovetop. But I'm good to go now. So let's take the whole show right over there, okay? So I'm on the stovetop here, and what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna start my burner. Now I wanna put it on a medium-high heat. So let's see. For me, that's the front burner. High, medium, okay. Now, I have that set on a medium-high heat. Now, the next step is I'm gonna set a timer on my stove top, and I'm gonna set the timer for 9 minutes. So let's see. Bring this down here where you can see that. All right, add timer. Let's see, my timer's here. I'm gonna put in 9. Okay, 9 minutes on my timer. Okay, and that is really, now I'm just going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to stir it a little bit. I'm going to put the cover over it, and it's going to cook here. We're going to cook this for 9 minutes. Okay, and you can, I can already see it sort of, the vegetables are throwing off some steam as it heats up. So I'm going to let it sit for a minute or so and let it warm up. Then I'm going to give it a stir for a few minutes, and then I'm going to put the lid on it and let it cook for the remainder of my time. So now I have my pot holders nearby, and I have my wooden spoon. I was going to let it heat up and then stir it. Okay, so I'm a righty, so I'm going to make sure I'm holding it in my left. I like my left hand on the handle, and my right hand on the spoon here. I'm going to start to mix these ingredients together while they all heat up. That's why it's good to have a large frying pan or, thing to work in, because it needs space to move around and not spill out of the pan if you can help it. But okay, so that's heating up. Everything's mixed together a little bit. Just going to place the spoon off to the side for a second. I'm going to put my lid on there. right, so it's about halfway through its cooking, and it's doing just fine. It's steaming up in there, and everything's kind of simmering away. I am gonna pick the lid up off for a minute, and I'm gonna stir it again just to kind of move all the vegetables and the chicken around, and let it soak up that flavor and let it kind of cook evenly throughout. So I'm gonna use my pot holder, and I'm gonna pick up that lid. I'm gonna let some of that heat, most of the steam rise up there before I dive in there with my spoon. But then I'm gonna stir that. And with these bigger chunks of vegetables, like the broccoli and stuff, I don't know if you like them larger or not. I like to kind of, maybe make them smaller a little bit. They seem kind of big, and so maybe we can, now they're not frozen anymore so much, so I can kind of snap them down with the end of my spatula. If you can't, that's fine. It's not important that you do that at all. It's just something I like to do. You can see our little chunks of chicken now are a good size. They're kind of a bite size, for us to kind of enjoy later. But just mix everything together. While it heats and cooks. All right. Some carrots in there, and peppers in there. Broccoli, it's a little bit, and then that flavor is all in there too, which is great. Okay, so I'm just going to put the lid on it and let it cook some more. So I put my lid back on, and it's just going to cook away. Okay, so my timer, I've got about 30 seconds left here, getting close. So I'm gonna take my lid off and give it one more stir here. Okay, so I'm gonna take that lid off there. Okay. And I'm gonna stir it all together here. Everything's nice and melted down and kind of simmering together. The sauces and the vegetables and the meat are all in there together, sharing each other's flavor, getting ready for us to enjoy. And that's my timer. This is important. Right now my timer's going off. And I'm going to turn off my timer. My timer's off. Now, before we do anything more, we're going to turn off the burner we're using. Okay? So there's no more heat underneath our pot, and it's turned off. Okay? All right? So again, We started off, we were just cooking we weren't cooking at all. We were preparing. We've done our cooking on the burner. And so now our cooking is done. So we're gonna move off the burner and move over to the counter. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I have a little, that doesn't have to rush anywhere. I don't need that to go anywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you right here, okay? And I'm gonna put this little pot holder down on the flat surface so I can bring my my food we just cooked together, stir fry, and I'm gonna bring it with us over here. And I'm just gonna place it on that pot holder so it doesn't hurt my counter at all. It's on a nice like pad from the heat. I'm gonna put you back over here on the camera, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our attention to the rice. Okay, so our meat and our vegetables are cooked, and so now we're gonna make some rice to put with our stir fry. It'll go rice and then the meat and stir fry over top of that. And this is a microwavable Uncle Ben's product, which we love. It's so easy. And so what you gotta do first is it's kind of in a clump in the middle there. And what you do is you kind of use your hands and smush it all up, you know? Smush the rice so it's no longer in one big clump, all right? And then, once I do that, you'll see this edge right here. Let's see, that's a little tag in it, a little cut in it. All I'm gonna do is pull that a little bit. See, I only pulled that like a little bit, like an inch, you know, like that. And that's gonna give it a vent. And so that has a vent on it. And so I'm gonna bring my microwave, bring it over to my microwave here. I'm gonna put that in my microwave, all right? And then I'm gonna set my timer for 90 seconds. Okay, so that's gonna microwave for 90 seconds. And then that's gonna be done, and we'll take that out too. While that's happening, let me fix the camera here. Okay, while that's happening, so again, I made this enough for 2 people to have dinner together, all right? And so I'm gonna get 2 plates out. Okay, all right. So I'm ready to, when my rice comes out, I'm ready to portion out my meal. And I'm looking for a spoon, something I can sort of work with. I have kind of a large serving spoon here. Something I can work with the rice with, and with my my vegetables and my meat to kind of organize the portions. But I'll do that. You'll see that in a minute. Okay, that's my microwave timer, and this can be hot when it comes out, so I do recommend a pot holder for this. I open the microwave right up, and I'm gonna use my pot holder again. I really should have the mitten ones, maybe something for me for Christmas. And I'm gonna use my pot holder and grab the bag with my pot holder so my hands aren't getting too much heat on them. All right, I'm gonna put that over there. Okay. Let me fix my camera angle down here where you can see my hands. Okay. So now, what I'm gonna do is I am gonna open this rice all the way up. Okay. All right, it's nice and warm in there. Maybe you can see the steam rising out of it. Yeah. Okay. And I'm just gonna pour some of it onto my plate here, but not all of it. Just pour a little bit like that. I'm gonna come over to my other plate. I'm gonna pour a little bit like that. Okay, and maybe try and have an even kind of portions here. There you go. Nice. Now that my bag is empty, I'm gonna throw that out. Okay. Now, all that's left is putting our meat and veggies onto our rice. So I'll get a bit of that on here. And this is enough for 2 people, so it should be enough to kind of go around here. A little sauce on the end there for each. Okay, we put this in the sink. Okay, and there you go. There's chicken stir fry, teriyaki stir fry with rice.